West Africa's Mauritania is one of the poorest countries in the world. On top of that, only 0.5% of its land can be used for farming. And on top of that, the country's been suffering from a worsening food crisis for the past few years. So when we heard they're currently experiencing an obesity epidemic, and that this epidemic was actually self-inflicted, we sent Thomas there to see what is going on.
Oh, hi, it's Thomas. It's midnight in the Sahara, and we're eating camel milk and millet to get fat and beautiful.
West Africa has never made any bones about its preference for thick chicks.
Biggie is good.
Unfortunately, Mauritania's recurrent famine and general lack of resources make it nearly impossible to pack on the pounds. Never mind the fact that it's smack in the middle of the Sahara, an environment so harsh you basically shed weight anytime you're not indoors lying down. The only way for girls out here to meet Mauritanian beauty standards is for their moms to literally force feed them full of milk and food. It's similar to how you make foie gras. In fact, they use the same term for both, gavage.
Elle a maigreur des femmes et c'est un signe de pauvreté de la famille. Cela veut dire que sa famille n'est pas capable matériellement de la gaver. À l'âge de 8 ans ou de 9 ans, parce qu'elle va être gavée jusqu'à ce qu'elle prenne le volume d'une grande femme.
Aminatou Mint Ali is an expert on Mauritania's force-feeding fixation.
Nous avons constaté aussi que les femmes gavées et qui a un impact négatif sur sa santé.
We're going to head out now to the desert to a Mauritanian fat camp. I'm going to take part and basically going to be drinking several liters of camel milk a day, eating as much millet as I can keep down without barfing. We're at a fish market right now trying to find a scale so we can do a little weigh-in to see, kind of get a precise figure on how beautiful they can make me in 2 days. Starting weight, I'm at 55 kilos right now, which I think is a nice weight. I'm going to do 2 or 3 days of gavage and see what that does to me. Doesn't seem like the best place on earth to be chugging milk, but I guess that's, that's the whole point of it. You got to suffer for your looks.
This is my gavage mate, Hanan, a 19-year-old Mauritanian girl who's starting to get serious about landing a husband. We started chit-chat over an appetizer of breadcrumbs drenched in olive oil.
Ready? Just go. So basically you take this like a pill and just ball it up and then... It's all right. How many times have you done this? Did you want to do it or did your mother make you do it?
تتزوج بدها تسمن بدها تتبلح هي تعود ما تعود رقيقة هذاك الرجل اللي متعرضة للمرض تعود وتوهب.
Then we moved on to a light lunch of goat meat, bread, and another bowl of milk to open up the stomach. My first sip of camel milk was a little underwhelming. It seemed especially watered down for what I was expecting, almost like a super skim.
In about so far, there's like a Mauritanian French dip. It's really a light start. The meat's kind of doing stuff to my head. But other than having like goat fat all over my hands, I feel all right. It just feels like a big meal.
So far, I didn't get what the big deal was with gavage. It just felt like basic overeating. I mean, my whole country overeats. That night, however, the real feeding began. The camel skim I'd gotten used to was replaced with camel cream, warm camel cream. I was starting to process the true nature of gavage, as well as way too much milk.
J'ai vu des femmes diabétiques à cause du gavage. J'ai vu des femmes qui ont piqué des crises cardiaques à cause du gavage. C'est une torture très grave.
Oh, it's insane film.
Oh. She said you should open the first button of your pen.
I did already. It
feels like the food has filled my entire chest cavity and is now deflating my lungs.
I don't know what I was thinking with this. Oh, I do not feel good at all. It's very breathtaking visually to wake up to this. I'm still full of milk, despite having pissed like 8 times. I was gonna ask what's for breakfast, but... kind of like a frat hazing element to this. Now I got you. Cool.
Eating wasn't even a chore at this point. It was punishment.
I definitely passed the point I would have stopped about 8 bites ago.
Bert doesn't begin to cover my personal hell of milk and desert heat.
Okay, I just puked twice in my mouth. Oh, shit. Oh, God. I really don't feel good. Yes. Oh.
Now that we were barf buddies, Hanan seemed a lot more sympathetic to me, even though what I'd gone through was only a sliver of the full gavage experience.
I think if I did 2 more days, I'd probably die.
The thing is, what we've just been through with Hanan is the voluntary rich girl version of gavage. In some parts of the desert, parents still start force-feeding their daughters as toddlers and crush their toes with pincers if they resist. Gavage isn't just a desert milk-chugging ritual. Gavage is an entire lifestyle of overeating. You have 2 to 3 lunches daily. You stay inside and try not to move. You don't have a job.
If you have daughters when you're married, do you think you would do gavage with them?
خايفة مشابه من ينفذوا لي.
I think it's about time to go back to the scale now and see how much damage 2 days of this can do to you. So I was 55 before, and I am now 59, which is about 10 pounds. So I mean, if you multiply that by doing it week after week after week and making it your lifestyle, this is nuts. This is the most insane crash dieting.
In a way, fashion and beauty has always been about trying to make yourself the opposite of what you actually are. In the West, rich people dress in torn jeans and try to look like they can't get enough to eat, while our poor leave the tags on their clothes so you know how much they overpaid for them. So why should it be surprising then, in a landscape designed to make you skinny, the best way to boost your image is to slam milk until you're obese? It shouldn't be a surprise. Just a little gross.